Hello folks, welcome to some more mixed feedback videos. Let's get right in. First one for today is by Daniel, aka FeroxX. Ferox. Yeah, what? Names are in the description as always.
Libyan ship or vessel, remain anchored. Do not leave port. The Gaddafi regime forces are violating a United Nations resolution ordering the end of hostilities in your country. If you attempt to leave port, you will be attacked and destroyed immediately. For your own safety, do not leave port.
Okay, right off the bat, in general, from what I can tell with my new setup here, it sounds pretty good. Low end, I will be checking in a bit. What I notice is your guitar playing could be a little bit tighter on grid. At times it feels just a little bit noticeably off. It doesn't have to be perfectly on grid, okay? We are not robots. We don't want it to be robotic. We still want it to be human, but as soon as it gets noticeably a little bit off, you might want to check your timing and perhaps practice your right hand rhythmic patterns a touch more. There you notice on these little lines, sometimes the timing is a little bit off. So, yeah, practice your rhythm a little bit more. And the low end is kind of woo. I want to say perhaps the guitars could use a little bit more filtering, but I would be careful with that. What I notice is they are a bit strong in that 100 Hertz range. So you may want to dip that down or sweep up the filter just a little bit more. And the bass guitar seems kind of dirty and muddy down there. It's hard to tell if it's because of the tone or the playing of the bass that could be a little bit cleaner and tighter. It's very important for the bass that you play very spot on, because otherwise the low end will be a mess. The bass guitar could also be a little bit low in volume in that low end range. It's quite strong actually, so almost a little bit too much. And it's also masking the low end thumb of the kick. So you want to watch out that you put in a bit more EQ separation there between the two. So yeah, that's about everything. The mix as a whole is fine, just at low end needs a little bit of work. Otherwise, guitar playing needs to be a bit more spot on. So practice that rhythm hand. Next one is by jvms again. So he makes Cage. Overall, it sounds pretty good. The bass guitar has a lot of that nasty honky mid-range though. It's the 600 hertz range. You really want to dip that down. Or, yeah, it's definitely this 500 to 600 range. You hear this honkiness in there. That's really, that boxiness. It's poking through too much. Here you hear how that honkiness in the bass is really getting a little bit out of hand. Yeah, otherwise this is pretty solid. Next one is by Nich Nach. Okay, overall, frequency balance-wise, this is pretty good. Volume balance-wise, I would perhaps make one or the other fine tweak. The drums could come up a little bit, or nah, I'd be careful with boosting stuff. I'd rather take down other stuff. Let's say the rhythm guitars could come down a little bit, so they don't overshadow the drums too much, and then also the vocals could come down a little bit more, because they stand on top or in front just a tiny bit too much. Yeah, and then the vocals and guitars together, they overshadow the drums a little bit. So it's really just a few volume balance moves and you're pretty much good, I'd say.
Warriors, never forget the warriors. Warriors, never forget the warriors. Never warriors.
Yeah, and that's everything I have to say about this one. Next one is by Jordan from Nihilaeth. Nihi, or is it that? Oh, so I'm sorry for butchering your band name. For everybody else, it's in the video description, and by all means, tell me how to pronounce that. I need to learn as well. Right off the bat, it's lacking top end. Like you put a very smooth low pass filter on there or something. If you did that, don't do it. Just leave the top range open. Otherwise, from what I can tell, the mix is actually pretty good, pretty decent. Everything has its place. It's just really with that top range being so low and so scooped down, it lacks a lot of excitement. You get a lot of energy and excitement from the top range, actually. Cymbals have a lot of top range. When I mean top range in this case, I'm talking like 6K and above. So you have a lot of excitement there, and also snare and kick, they have a lot of that click and crack sound in that top range, and when that's missing, you lose a lot of excitement. Yeah, you do have a nice punch in the lower range, but you need a top range as well. I think here the synthesizers could come down a little bit. Okay, and that's everything I have to say about that. Next is by Leon Grinberg. It says, sorry, we are unable to play the song. So you used Drive Player? So I would suggest use something else. Usually SoundCloud works pretty well. I personally never had any problems with it. I'm not sure why lots of people say it's messing up the audio file quality. Either that or send me a download link. So it's up to you. But I need something that works. This right here doesn't seem to work. So feel free to send it to me again using something else. Okay, then let's leave it at that for today. If you would like to submit a mix for some feedback, just send it to johnnymixcrit@gmail.com. You can use whatever service you like, be it streaming via SoundCloud or YouTube or a download link or whatever. Just make sure it works. And I would also prefer that you didn't register the mix that you sent me with stuff like CD Baby or whatever else, because then I'm getting copyright strikes. That's not cool whatsoever. That happened just the other day and I'm like, well, great. In any case, I hope you are having a fun time mixing and I shall see you next time.